So if you're struggling right now to get to one Bitcoin and you're like, you know what, I'm struggling, oh my God, I'm struggling, I live in the West, I have all of these privileges and I'm struggling to get to one Bitcoin, which is where, by the way, your target should be. I think everyone's target should be one Bitcoin. I genuinely believe that. Even if you never get there, the target should be one Bitcoin. Get to one whole Bitcoin. Imagine that. You own one whole Bitcoin out of 21 million Bitcoin ever in existence. So I think everyone's target should be one Bitcoin. And if you're struggling to get there right now, and you're working a job or whatever you're working, right? You need to realize that most of that will come from fixing the small leaks that are going on. So if you're out here buying pointless cups of coffee in Starbucks, or whatever else you're leaking wealth, I don't even know, like whatever else you're leaking, like I leak wealth when it comes to cigars, right? I like Cuban cigars, so that's a wealth leak. If I wasn't at one Bitcoin yet, I would stop smoking Cuban cigars and put the Cuban cigar money into Bitcoin until I got to one Bitcoin. It's just like that. Like if you're driving, if you've got two cars, which firstly, if you've got two cars, sell those damn things and put the money into Bitcoin and figure it out, right? Like, so getting to one Bitcoin is the most important thing. And getting to one Bitcoin, if you're in the West with all the opportunities that we have, getting to one Bitcoin is just fixing those subconscious wealth leaks that are going on. There is nothing else to it. Everything else is a fucking excuse. So you need to, either you don't understand why Bitcoin is important, in which case, please, go and look at all of the content that's out there on Bitcoin and understand why it's actually important, why it is essential if you are planning on having a family in the future, or you already have a family, and get to one Bitcoin. Stop making excuses. Stop thinking that it's just going to happen one day. Stop making excuses. Fix the leaks and get to one Bitcoin. It's that important.